G'day YouTube, welcome to Drop Bear Moto. My name's Richard and today, bizarrely, we're going to talk about Apple CarPlay on motorcycles. What? We're supposed to be on freedom machines, living life out, nothing but the elements and us tackling the roads and all those drivers in cages. What do we want digital technology for? Look, it's an interesting question. I must admit, for a long time, I steered clear of having this sort of technology on motorcycles. I've never actually put a phone on my handlebars with any sort of mount for exactly that reason.
The reality is, if you're crushing a lot of miles, having Waze, having Google Maps is super handy on here. Yes, you can have it on your phone. It's just nice and easy if it's on here. It's waterproof. The system's up. One slight problem though is rain can start clicking things randomly on these touch screens because they're designed to work with gloves on. So rain can impact them, but your phone's not going to die sitting up here. You don't have to worry about all cables going in to charge your phone. You've still got access to all your maps, music, everything's intuitive on the screen here. You can see where police are, just in case you want to say hello, because of course you're not doing anything wrong out there. But bigger one, you can see when traffic backs up and potentially get an alternate route suggested for you, which is super handy if you're touring. So that's why you'd want Apple CarPlay. So let's have a look how we can solve some common problems.
The first concept I want to talk about today is the need for some sort of comm system to be able to work with your motorcycle together with your phone. It's not just as easy as plugging in your phone like in a car. You do have to have comms connected to the motorcycle as well. So to clear up one thing, this is not anything to do with Indian or Harley Davidson. This is actually a requirement from Apple CarPlay. And the reason being, obviously, you don't want to be typing things into the display, and one of the recommended ways to interact with these displays from Apple is through voice recognition and being able to give commands verbally instead of putting your hands on the screen while you're riding. Really goes strongly for motorcycles as well, obviously. So that's why you have to have some sort of comms connected to the bike. The reason that most people are having problems with those comms is because the communication device fights the Bluetooth between your phone, which we all have it connected to as well, and to the bike head unit. So we're going to talk a lot today about making sure we get prioritization for the bike to be able to use the communications device and not go to the phone. So I'll talk you through a process that I do that. But that's where a lot of the problems do lie, spoiler, so that's what we're going to be talking about, but there are a couple of other pieces that we'll mention as we go through. Just for reference, we use Packtalk is our communications we'll be talking about today. We use the Packtalk Bold, which is the previous model, so I hope that a lot of these problems have been resolved in newer models with Bluetooth technology. We're also going to use Apple phones, obviously, for Apple CarPlay, and we're going to go through the Harley Davidson new Skyline OS system, but also most of this I filmed on my Indian Challenger with the 7-inch ride command control. So might apply to a lot of bikes as well, but let's have a look at the bikes.
So first of all, I said I'd give you 3 tips to make sure you're thinking about this before you start anything if you're having problems. The first one's fairly easy. Cable. The cable you're using really matters. So I'd suggest buying a decent one. Don't buy 50 for 49 cents off of Amazon or gas station kind of cables. Get an Anchor or a known brand cable. This thing sits on a hot bike. It gets crushed up in these pockets. You want to make sure that you've got that on lock first of all. Second tip I would say is software in these bikes is not like a car. A lot of cars now you can put on your Wi-Fi network, you pull in the garage and it says hang on, updating, that doesn't happen, certainly on the Indian. I'm not sure on the Harley yet, but not on the Indian. So you want to make sure that you go to the dealer and just get the latest updated software for your screen, and that you do have a copy, because these things do change, and you want to make sure you're running the greatest if you're having ongoing problems. That software update will not affect any tunes or anything like that you've got on the bike. It's a completely different system. It's not going through the ECM. It's just this screen here, so don't be afraid of making sure that you're regularly updated on what's behind the ride command system. And the third thing I would say is iPhone size. When I bought this bike, this was a standard iPhone size. Now it's this big. And I noticed this was a big difference when I used this phone for a long time, no problems at all. But when I put this phone inside there, it starts to knock buttons within these cubbies on the Challenger. So I'm hitting this button while it's riding these buttons, and sometimes they would make the phone go into camera mode or do something else and switch off what it was doing, and that's when I'd lose the system and find out I recorded some video, because I have my video set up here instead. So just make sure none of the buttons are coming in contact with the walls. Not a problem in the Harley. I'll show you now. So big benefit with the new Road Glide is these much deeper pockets. You can see here, you throw a phone all the way down. The other benefit is they don't come flying back out like the Challenger's more horizontal. These go in and deep, so bigger phone will fit, no problems at all. Not going to have an issue hitting buttons in this bike. And I believe, but for the Chieftain has a tray up here, which for these bigger phones is a problem as well. I think the new Street Glides have a nice little tray comes out, which I assume is plenty big, but just watch that your phone buttons aren't getting knocked while it's in the hatch. As I walk you through this process, there might be a little bit of superstition, a little bit of voodoo magic in here, but I'll walk you through what I do, and this does work most of the time. First thing I do is power up the bike. I let the bike go through the full cycle and get all the way through to the point where I hit OK on both bikes. That way you know all the electronics has been done and it's there, and we know we're in a position where we can now connect up the phone. I also like to make sure that the phone is open and unlocked, and then I connect the phone in and place it in the cubby. You get this message saying the Bluetooth headset must be connected to use CarPlay. So I make sure that we get to that point, so the phone is definitely connected to hardwired in, and then I switch on my Packtalk. And there you go, the Apple CarPlay's come up, so 9 times out of 10 that works. Troubleshooting, if that doesn't work, what you're going to find is that probably this unit is jumping to the phone before it's jumping to the bike, and it needs to be connecting with the bike through Bluetooth. So what I would do is turn off Bluetooth on your phone before you start that whole process. That way the phone is not on here and it's not working. If you forget to do that and you've turned your unit on, I would power the unit off. I would then go into the phone, turn off Bluetooth, and then I would power the unit back on. And try and jump in from that process there. If all else fails, you might have to redisconnect it from this unit, from the motorcycle, and go through, find the unit again, search for it and grab it. But what's happening each time is that this unit and the phone, as I mentioned at the beginning, are both searching for that Bluetooth connection, and certainly these Packtalk Bold struggle to find the right connection. I'm not sure if that's happening in the newer version or it's just in this, but that's a common reason why these won't connect up, is that Bluetooth issue. Okay, so let's go through that same process on the Harley, just to show you the difference. First of all, we're going to switch the bike on. Wait till we get all the way through the screens and we're ready to go. Again, phone unlocked. Going to grab my cable and connect it in. I think it comes up again with that warning. Yep, there you go. We must connect a headset to use Apple CarPlay. Now we're going to fire up the CarPlay, and you can see on the Harley tells you it's there. Packtalk is now connected successfully. So when we go into the main menu, you can see CarPlay's come up, and we're connected. So there you go. Again, same thing. So I hope that helps you. It's a great system when it's up and running, particularly if you're crushing a lot of miles, like I mentioned at the start. I find it invaluable on the bike. I hope this video helps. If it did, give us a like so we know we're doing the right thing. Ride safe out there. Enjoy your Apple CarPlay systems if you've got them.